Give me a minute to get everything set up here. Got a cup of coffee. If you're with us, let us know what you are drinking this morning, what you're up to, where you're located, what brought you here, and your interest in vintage Petrol lighters. Get the chat set up. Depending on who all joins in here, I've got a couple things I might want to talk about. Mainly I'm packaging up a lighter that I sold late last night. A small advertiser. I apologize for the backup siren you hear there. It's a piece of equipment trying to accomplish something down here in Deep Deuce. Anyway, this small advertising Penguin Cygnus lighter for Southern Motors Inc. We're going to get that picked up and shipped out. And I'm also going to hop on here real quick and post a link to this stream on the dependableflame.com YouTube channel, or not YouTube channel, dependableflame.com Facebook group. Dependableflame.com. Get the volume turned down there. Share, copy link. So if you've just joined us and you are a lighter enthusiast or whatever has brought you here, let your friends know. I'm glad to discuss anything related to vintage Petrol lighters, really any kind of old lighters, even though I don't work on butane lighters, so I'll go ahead and tell you that right up front. I won't be much help if you have a question about a butane lighter. But I can be of some help with Petrol lighters and would love to discuss any element of them or aspect of using them. Alright, posting this link on the dependableflame.com Facebook group, which I really appreciate all the interaction on that group lately. And for those of you who have posted and had to wait a day or so to have your post published, for those of you that I know and have any kind of experience with at all, I'm trying, as I approve your posts, to make it to where your posts are automatically approved every time after that. For those that I don't have experience with. Obviously, I have to approve those because it's just an incredible amount of spam that's attempted upon that group. So anyway, I am posting this to the group now, letting them know that we're over here discussing old lighters as I package up this lighter that I sold last night. Try to keep up with the live chat as I'm going along here. As I said, let me know. If you are in the chat. And those of you who have been here before, I'll try to remember where you're from. Those that have not, let me know where you're from. What made you interested in this stream or vintage lighters in the first place. I run a website called dependableflame.com where hello Austin Payne, glad to have you with us today. I'm doing great. Just taking care of a couple of chores, getting ready to maybe take a walk, find a little product that I need at a local dispensary, or at least I'm hoping I can find one within walking distance. But also going to take a walk to the post office later. It's supposed to be 71, 72 degrees here in Oklahoma City. Now I'm wondering whether my feed has locked up here. Maybe just where I was watching it had locked up. Hope everything is connected to Wi-Fi like it needs to be. Yeah, I'm doing good though, Austin. But we run a website, dependableflame.com, where I talk about old Petrol lighters. I document what we find, what we do, how we repair them. I try to provide videos for demonstration repair videos for the YouTube channel. That is my main focus as far as the purpose of the YouTube channel these days, other than, and that is really loud. I don't know if you guys can hear those blowers outside. Anyway, I'm getting kind of distracted looking at where I'm trying to monitor this, and it is, for some reason, keeps locking up on me. As I was saying, dependableflame.com, we repair old lighters, sell old lighters, we promote Huntington's disease awareness, which is a disease that killed my father. So part of our business practically from the beginning, and maybe even from the very beginning, I can't remember if I came up with that idea before I actually started selling lighters or not, but talking to my daughter, she thought it was very important, people of her generation, that a business support a cause. So eBay offered that option with PayPal facilitating those payments, where you could give a percentage of each listing to a charity of your choice. So that's something that we've always done. 10% of each of our listings, whether it be auction, buy it now, whatever it is, goes to Huntington's Disease Society of America, or at least it has up to this point, with one minor period where we had to change over to the juvenile Huntington's disease organization because the HDSA organization had somehow let their paperwork lapse. Anyway, I'm back in that same position, so I don't know if anybody from HDSA, maybe I should have tagged HDSA in this. Not sure if I can go back and do that afterwards or not, but trying to list some lighters and I can't send it toward the charity that I would like to send it to. Okay, Austin, yeah, I remember that. Wilburton, Oklahoma, living back in Dallas. I spent quite a bit of time in Dallas, and I've got brothers and sisters-in-law who live in suburbs of Dallas. Can't remember if well, yeah, I remember I was going to, I grew up right here in the Oklahoma City greater metro area. Del City when I was a young kid, then Midwest City. But I remember I was going to Six Flags over Texas when I was probably about 4 or 5 years old. That's pretty young. Other than that, I don't really remember going to Texas until I was, I guess in my late teens, about 19 years old. When I was 19 and 20, me and a group of friends of mine, each of those 2 years, I was a big Eagles fan, Don Henley fan. Saw Don Henley at the Zoo Amphitheater in Oklahoma City in August of 1989. And then the next 2 summers went to Dallas in 89 or 90 and 91 at the Starplex Arena or Starplex Amphitheater. Saw Don Henley. Seems like the first time Michael Penn was opening for him. Second time I can't remember. Must not have been anybody as memorable as Michael Penn, which he was a pretty good artist. Had some good songs. That was one of the Penn brothers. The musical Penn brother rather than music or actor that the rest of them turned out to be. So I'm just packaging this lighter up to mail it. That's my typical packaging. Goes inside a little Ziploc bag that then goes inside a bubble mailer, and then that goes inside another bubble mailer, and both of those, or all of that, is going to go inside another Ziploc. And then I put a couple of my business cards in here and write a little thank you note on one. Don't really want that iPod to go dead on me. But I mentioned a while ago that I appreciated everybody posting over there on the dependableflame.com Facebook group. And I've been posting items that, or lighters that other people have posted in other groups that were shareable, which not all groups make their postings shareable, but when I find one that is, that I really like, I've been sharing it over there, and I noticed that one of those guys that I'd shared, a gentleman named Peter Maloof, had posted a couple posts this morning, so I went ahead and pre-approved his as well, and then of course Larry Leiter, which I'm always interested to see Larry's posts in the different and various lighter groups, as well as just his. I think that's basically what he does, is shares his Facebook posts. So always glad to see Larry's stuff. So you guys feel free to keep posting. Those two in particular, I just went ahead and approved for future posts. And that's the way I do it when it's somebody that I know or I'm friends with or have experience with. It's what I'd prefer to do, so that you don't have to wait. Because I don't get over there to look at that page every day. I mean, you guys know I'm busy with grandkids a lot. You know, it'd be helpful if I could kind of come up with a routine to where I checked all this stuff daily, but up till now I just haven't done it. So if you ever do post anything over there and you're not seeing it, just hit me up on Messenger, let me know, and I'll get over there and approve it. And like I said, if I know you, then I'll go ahead and not just approve it, but make it to where you're pre-approved for future posts. Hello, O. Huntington. Glad to have you with us today, sir. I'm doing fine. My decaf is still warm. Okay, you're working on a park table lighter, huh? What's the issue with your park table lighter, Austin? I'm gonna wrap that in a bubble mailer, and then that will go inside another bubble mailer. Now I'm going to have to turn my printer on and hopefully get this label printed. So you posted a couple, or at least one post of a new lighter, OLARP. After we were last on the stream. Hello, Professor. Glad to have you with us, my friend. Seems like the last couple times you joined us, it was at the very end, right as I was saying goodbye. Seen you on Facebook, or not Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, TikTok as well, maybe. Seen you in a few different places, watched a few of your videos. Yeah, there you can. What was it that was rusted? Is it rust or actual like oxidation? Usually with those aluminum inserts, but if yours is a little bit older, then it might be. It could be steel. It definitely could be rusted. A Lucifer lighter from France. Yeah, there you go. Okay, you were driving, huh? You don't drive for your job, do you, Professor? All right, I might be just around the corner in the other room for a second as I'm trying to print this label. I don't know how many of you are eBay sellers. Be careful here, I don't want to give away any personal information, which I don't think there is any personal information on that page. USPS Ground, they don't do first class anymore. They basically changed the name of first class to USPS Ground and include it with parcel post, slowed everything down. Okay, so purchase. Okay, now Wi-Fi printer. Have to go over here and connect to that Wi-Fi. I've had some weird issues with my printer here lately where I wonder whether I might not have to replace it soon. Doesn't need to be in color, doesn't need to be double-sided. I don't hear anything happening in there yet, so I better go check on it. Well, we'll give that a minute. I don't hear its wheels spinning in there yet, but everything else that it would normally do is happening, so we'll see. Check that. Live stream. Okay, gotcha. So you don't drive for your job. Sounds like my printer's come to life in there, so hopefully I'll have a label here in a moment. Okay, I'm pretty ignorant. I'm totally ignorant of the Lucifer OLARP. Let me pull up the DependableFlame.com Facebook group though, and although I keep having, give me a second, I'm having an issue with my paper apparently. Okay, I've got my label now. Quit stressing about that. Okay, so one thing when I get on Facebook on this iPad, sometimes it'll let me scroll down and then all of a sudden it'll just stop like I'm at the bottom of everything it's got to offer. And then it just resets the page, and I was Trying to find that lucifer. There you go. Okay, yeah. It kind of reminds me of some of the, I don't know, like the Madison, like a skinnier version of some of those different squeeze lighters, Austrian squeeze lighters. So are all three versions of the lucifer squeeze lighters? Ah, there you got all three of them right there. Okay. Cool. And I'm assuming that okay, it looks like the squeeze lighter is the only one that's a squeeze lighter is the one in the middle. The other two just flip top type. Anyway, really cool. I always like seeing something that I haven't seen before. Hello, King On. I'm not sure what your message is about don't be sheep, get the boosters. I think it's just fine for people to make those decisions on their own without being called names of one kind or another. A lot of complex decisions that people have to make, and a lot of times most of them don't even want to be making those decisions. They're just trying to do the best they can. And I know that there are extremists on both sides of the issue, but I think that's really a personal decision. And I would prefer just to leave that to each individual. I'm not going to resort to name calling for something like that. So I'm just cutting this label out over here. I'm doing it off the screen, just I don't want to. Not that it's patient-client privilege or anything like that, but there is a person's address here that I don't necessarily want to be on that screen, so. So what brought you here, King On? Did you come here just to make a statement about vaccines, or you got an interest in vintage petrol lighters? Heavy metal, huh? That's cool. And now that's an interesting choice of name. Not sure why anybody would want to name it that name. I guess maybe the fire connection, connecting the fire of hell to Satan, or Lucifer, I should say. And I don't know. There may be. I'm pretty certain. I'm sure the Bible uses that name, Lucifer, for Satan. So, Larp, you got anything you've been keeping an eye on? You got any auctions you're waiting to end so that you can put in that bid and hopefully snatch some lighter that you've been trying to get a hold of forever? And what about you, Scott? You tried any new root beer lately? I think I saw a new root beer review video on your channel not too long ago. A French company called HDSA. So I'm glad that it's going to be nice enough here today that at least I can take a walk. Run this package up to the post office and, like I said, hopefully run another errand or two while I'm out. Did watch the Today Show this morning, but I didn't pay much attention to what the weather was doing nationally. I was just shocked that when I had watched the local news a little earlier that it was going to be so nice here, because it was wind chills below zero here last week for about 3 days. It was terrible. And now it's like we just broke through to winter time, or to spring. So I'll gladly take it. Hello, Friedrich. Glad to have you with us, my friend. You might hear your name when you watch today's short. Can't remember who mentioned you and somebody else from last week's live stream. That short that I cut out of the video that we published on Saturday. About the most that I will mail in a bubble mailer like this would be 2, and that would be fairly rare. I will do it if I can secure them, which I can. I could probably fit up to 3, but in my memory, I can't remember. I think anything that I've sold in the last 5 years, if it's been more than 2 lighters, I've put it in a box instead of this. Or actually, I think it's been more than 1 lighter. Some stuff that I mailed out to people just as favors, I might have mailed in these, but when it comes to mailing lighters that I sold, typically if it's more than 1, then I'll go ahead and put it in a box. One of the nice things about the fact that you pay for an eBay store is that they give you a little kickback of it every quarter to go toward shipping supplies. And so I just alternate in getting these bubble mailers and small 4x4 boxes. And that's plenty secure. You saw that it was in a Ziploc, small Ziploc bag, then in a small bubble mailer, then in another, or not bubble mailer, bubble envelope. Then it was in another small bubble envelope, inside another Ziploc, inside a big bubble mailer that was wrapped up, then inside another bubble mailer. That should be more than secure. And of course I'm going to tape this shut. But I've bought a lot of lighters over the last, excuse me, 9 years, however long it's been. And I've encountered some people that protect them fairly well. Mostly not though. Most of the lighters that I buy are in big groups, huge lots, and they're not protected at all. And then even a lot of the ones that I've purchased individually, just a lot of sellers don't really protect their lighters very well. But people are collecting something like this, they expect it to show up in the condition that they purchased it. They don't want it damaged. They don't want the packaging to have looked like it went through hell and back just to get there. So I take protecting the lighter very seriously. And I probably shouldn't have shown that address on the stream like that. So let's see. Professor says that one on a Beta root beer I recorded back in September, but I forgot to edit and post it because of all the moving crazy. So you still in Montana? Where have you moved to? Wow, 30 degrees below Fahrenheit, huh? Yeah, it was pretty cold here too. Not 30 below though, but definitely below zero at one point, and for most of a few days. You guys enjoying a coffee or root beer or anything this morning? I really meant to tag HDSA in this post because I emailed them last week and I'm kind of frustrated with the fact, and I don't even know, I wasn't given that warning with this. This lighter was sold with 10% of that, so about $9.50 or so going to HDSA. But if they're not registered with eBay anymore, then I don't know what eBay will do with that money. But when I went to do a new listing last week, and then I tried, no, that's not it. And I tried to do it again this morning just to make sure. And it told me that your selected charity is no longer registered with our program. Please select a different charity or contact eBay if you believe you're receiving this message in error. So I guess I'm going to have to contact eBay. I don't know if it's in error. I think that last time this happened, the HDSA organization had let their paperwork lapse, and they messaged me back finally and let me know if they got it right, and then I started listing again. Everything was fine, but I'm just trying to give them some money. It's an integral part of my business, and I don't really want to have to stop doing that, but I also need to be able to list when it's time to list. It's very frustrating to have lighters that I'm trying to get up there to sell, and I can't even get them listed because I can't choose this organization to benefit from the listing when it does sell. "30 miles north." Well, Scott, that sounds like you're probably only going to be colder than if you move north. Cracking up and open a protein shake. Yeah, I've had plenty of protein shakes in my life. I think I've got enough protein now. I don't need them. But I do have I've still got plenty of, I'm trying to remember what the brand of that protein is I use. Whey isolate. So nobody's got anything going on lighter related today? Nobody's got a big auction ending here in a little bit that they can't wait to get over there and check out? I haven't bought much lately. And I don't know if I will get time today to actually make any more videos. I recorded a video on Saturday. I had an offer for this lighter the other day. I think I got the offer on Wednesday, maybe Wednesday afternoon or Wednesday night. And I was watching my grandkids on Thursday, so I wasn't going to be able to ship it. Didn't have enough time. I watched them late on Wednesday, and then it was early on Thursday. So a lot of times when I'm not going to be able to ship something immediately like that, if I do accept it, then I'll just send a counter offer letting them know that basically why I didn't respond immediately and that I couldn't have shipped it, but that if they want to accept the counter offer for the same amount, then I could ship it on Friday. And then they just let that expire. So I guess they changed their mind. But anyway, that offer, I think I've got this listed for $84.99, so basically $85. They offered me $55, and I was going to accept that. So just keep that in mind if this is a lighter that you might be interested in. I'll typically take about 2/3 of what I'm asking for most of those lighters you see listed. And $55 is just a little bit below that. So anyway, really cool lighter. Still got a lot of its paint, but it is missing some. Looks like an Egyptian graphic of some sort. There's a lamp with a flame. Some marks down below it. It says J.A.S. I don't see a period after the S. And I can't even remember now what that stood for, but I looked it up. It's on the video that is embedded in the listing for that lighter. Anyway, really cool, old, what is that? It's like, is it dots? So early 60s. A couple dots on each side. The windscreen has really been beat up, and I don't also think the windscreen or the insert itself is from a later time period. Could be wrong about that. I don't think so. I think the time period of this lighter, it should have had a hollow rivet even, maybe. Maybe not. I'm no expert on all those nuances. Definitely some wear to the insert you see there. The hinge moves back and forth, but it feels pretty solid. It doesn't feel so much like a wobble. It is a little loose though. I suppose you would call that a little bit of a wobble. But snap shut, hold shut. Maybe a little bit of, depending on how it closes and what kind of pressure is on it. You might hear a little bit of clatter on that lid, not exactly being held shut tight. OARP says he's made a few bids on eBay. Prof Oak, glad to have you with us. Don't remember you being here before. If you don't mind, let us know where you're from, what brings you here. Are you a lighter fan? You say a possible Egyptian curse on it, huh? I assume that had something to do with the military unit or organization that is inscribed on the back of it. Okay, and Friedrich says he thinks that's a British Regiment cap badge insignia. I can't even remember. I can't even remember what I said in the video that I made for it, to be honest. So I can't remember what I came up with, if I came up with anything from that image. It's definitely different. You find some really interesting graphics with some of the military themed lighters, military themed Zippos. So anyway, it's a really cool lighter. I've had that, it's probably been, oh, maybe not a year. Probably had it since last spring. And then who knows, the way time flies, that might have been a year ago spring, so I could have had it for almost a couple years now. That's one that I took pictures of, but I couldn't list yet because I haven't actually made a video on it. I made a repair video on it, but not a video. So actually, I think when we get off here, that's exactly what I'll do, is make a video on this. I may go ahead and light it up. What do you guys think from what you can see of that wick? You think that's a brand new lighter, or you think it's been used? I think it was brand new. I think that the wick is just a little bit contaminated with some dust. Let me go see if I can find a light. Well, you can see that it's not exactly white. It's definitely off-white, but as far as, I don't really see any singeing. I just see discoloration. I think that's a brand new lighter. Now I cleared the flint tube. Can't remember whether I put a new flint in it or not. I guess I'll discover that when I'm making the video for it. Or I could do it right now. It's really straight though. It's a little bit big, a little bit taller than a Zippo, maybe even a little bit thicker, definitely taller. Sort of a big lighter, and a brush finish. Nifty little pipe lighter, and we can't see, because the way it's in there, you can't see the flint or the flint spring tip where it's making contact with the wheel, because it's kind of all shrouded by the structure of this insert. And there's our flint spring and screw. So no flint in it and no flint dust coming out either. You can see that the wheel is turning, and then when you get the, well, that's still turning. Well, now I'm trying to remember. Sure looks like it's long enough that it ought to be making contacts. Maybe I didn't clear this tube. Let's find out. My coffee's got to the point that I'm going to have to add some milk and some ice here in a minute. So let me see if I can find a rod long enough to stick down there. Well, I'm not really finding anything I was looking for. I got a bunch of little rods around here somewhere, which you can go to the website, one of the articles that I wrote about different parts and tools that you might want to accumulate. I talked about little flags, little marker flags that you can get at Lowe's. That's what I use. I just pull those flags off, strip the adhesive off with alcohol, and then use those cut those big long rods up. Anyway, I can't find one of them right now, so we're going to use this 3/32 drill bit. Matter of fact, we'll stick it in there backward. And it is making solid contact there with the wheel. So we should be good. Bothers me a little bit that because it's new I can't spark it up. But tube, you can put the bit all the way in there and it will stop the wheel. Spring does not, which makes me wonder whether there might be a little bit of residue left in there, or it could be that the spring, there are some lighters that the spring just isn't quite long enough, but you've got to have the flint in there for them to make up that distance and make the contact that they need. And that does screw in quite a ways. And once it's screwed in all the ways, then it stops the wheel. So I don't think we have anything to worry about. So in that case, I probably will not ignite this lighter. I believe that's brand new. I guess I asked you guys and then didn't check. And I'm trying to give you my final verdict. You guys think that's new? Of course, even in the listing, if I do state that I think it's new, I'm going to say that there's some contamination to the wick. But I don't know that I see other signs of soot and that kind of, there's some corrosion to the metal, that plate down there. That could have been from flint. Could have just been from, that could be what discolored the wick even. Who knows? Doesn't really matter. It won't make a great deal of difference on a lighter like this, how much it's going to bring anyway. Somewhat subjective. If I was just guessing, I'd say I'll probably list it for $35, $40. But I haven't done any comps yet either, so you never know. I may go look up the Craftsman Trilite and find out that they sell for a lot more than that, but I doubt it. I think it's a nice lighter design. You see a lot of these. Penguin did it. As a matter of fact, the Penguin lighter that we very first created, the Penguin page on our website, the archived eBay listings page for the Penguin branded lighters, it's a similar design, this kind of pipe lighter. Hello, Jonathan. Glad to have you with us. Another fella who has posted liberally, and I'm thankful so, on the dependableflame.com Facebook group. And Jonathan, I'm trying to remember now, did you create the lighters in movies page? That's something that other people ought to know about too. That's a pretty cool idea. I like that. I like how we've got different branded pages. So if you've got a favorite brand or something that you don't see and you don't think is being appreciated, get on Facebook, create that group. I promise you, I'll join it. Yeah, I just wanted to, I was packaging up a lighter that I sold last night. I thought I'd hop on, chat a little bit, see who might be available to talk, see if anybody had any questions. You know, I like to try to do it at least once a week. I'm trying to publish a full-length video every Saturday morning, and then shorts every weekday at noon during the week. That's my current upload schedule. And then for the live stream, I'm trying to do it Monday, Tuesday, or Friday, because I watch the kids every Wednesday and Thursday. And then if that changes, then we'll adjust, see what we got to do. But I don't know, I would like to be able to publish more videos, but right now I just don't have a lot of time to be making them. And really it's kind of a whole game with, you know, the more that I record at once, the more my phone gets clogged up, and then I've got to start erasing stuff, and the more I take it easy, then it all gets to the cloud in an orderly basis. I don't have to erase things. It all just, so that's kind of how I've just been kind of going with the flow of it here recently. I do hope though to be able to start recording some different kinds of shorts, and I would like to be able to come up with a set time every week when we could do a live stream, and then if we wanted to do more, we could always do more. But I would definitely like to have a set time every week. That's a cool lighter though. One of those that in a perfect world I'd be keeping in my collection. But again, here it is. It looks like a brand new lighter. I don't really want to put a flint in it and spark it or light it up, because it looks to me like it has never been lit. But that's kind of the hallmark of my collection, is that it needs to be used. So. It's always cool to me to find another design, even if it's similar to others. Just any kind of pipe lighter that I haven't seen before is always interesting to me. Got anything else here? I am continuing to use this double torch insert as my main butane lighter, my main lighter to heat up dab straws. Okay, Jonathan, so you created a page for it and a group with the same title? I've got the same thing for dependable flame. I find that I do post to the page, but the group is much more useful to me. Somebody's got a question on here, they can go post a picture over there where they can't post a picture here during the stream. Anyway, this double torch butane insert has been my go-to recently for heating up dab straws. And I'm going to go ahead here and refill this. So in preparation of doing that, I'm going to turn the volume or the flame adjustment all the way down. Then I'm going to take this small Phillips screwdriver, which gives you enough airflow between those prongs to let your butane, gas, air, whatever you're trying to get out of there to purge out of that tank. Just want to aim that away from you and press the valve. You may have to press it a few times. I would try to do everything I could not to breathe in any more of that butane than I had to, and also try to air out your area as best you can. Best thing you can do is take it outside and do it. Apparently butane settles in a low area. It's one of the reasons why they tell you not to do it over a sink. But it's also such a small amount of gas that I don't really know how. It seems to me like it's going to get dispersed through the air pretty quick. Anyway, I've had some trouble with these, and I know people like to criticize when they see butane squirting out all over the place. Where did my can go? I'm trying to remember which. This adapter is good enough, and the one that actually fit perfect broke. So you're going to see some spillage. Just going to have to live with it. Try to make sure it's on there. And I've been doing just about, I don't know, about 3 short. I'll hold it down until it really starts looking like it's squirting out of there, and then I'll give it a couple more, 4 or 5 second pumps. And I can feel that getting cold. But you can also see that there's plenty of it spilling out of there. But it is getting in the tank as well. But not a perfect process, but I've got a newer bottle in there, which I already broke the #1 adapter on it as well. So that's why I'm just living with, I think that's the #5 that's on there now. So now that we've got that full, typically turn that all the way up and then just barely down. If I turn it down any lower than that, it won't light. We'll let it cool down. That's really cold right now. And that's not damage to the lighter, that's just from where it got set on my jar, silicone jar that had tacky product all over the rim of it. But these, they'll usually, well, maybe I ought to give it a minute. I thought it would light up faster than that. I am paranoid enough, though, after an answer that I got to a question on Quora a while back, that I do wash my hands now after I fuel a butane lighter. So give me just a moment. So we've had several of our regulars with us here today. Scott, the professor, Olarp, Friedrich. Jonathan. And Jonathan, you've been with the channel for a long time, but you don't typically make a lot of live streams, do you? I'm sure you've been here before, but I don't remember it being a regular thing with you being here. Of course, Austin Payne has been with us too. Prof. Oak. And I'm not going anywhere yet. I was just taking a roll call of who's been here, and it's nice to have so many. Always nice to have good, new people that are interested, but always love to have folks that have been with us for a long time as well. Thomas Nolan, glad to have you with us. Thomas, when you ask if I modded the insert, I'm assuming you're talking about if I opened it up to where I could go in and actually get the adjustment out of the flame, that I should be able to. And no, I haven't done that with this one, because when I did that with my single torch, I never could get it to work right again. So I have not. I'm admittedly ignorant and pretty much helpless when it comes to butane lighters. It's not what this channel is about. I use them every day, but I'm not very good at fixing them. I haven't had much success, even with that kind of thing, trying to fix something that seemed rather simple in a newer lighter. So you can see now that's lighting up just fine. So, Professor, when you said minus 30, is it? It's not minus 30 today, is it? Have you guys warmed up at least a little bit? Yeah. Jonathan says, yeah, I think I've been following Dependable Flame since I think 2018 or 19, where there's background music to the videos. Yeah, I used to play a lot of Red Dirt, a lot of John Fulbright, Cross Canadian Ragweed, Jason Boland. I used to play a lot of that stuff in the background. It was way before I ever thought about. Those were just little short minute, most of them less than a minute long, just kind of showing it off. But yeah, I started the channel in July of 2018. And it wasn't until the fall of 2020 that I started making basically the kind of videos that I do now. Or, we make shorts now too. But the main videos, the 8 to 10 minute, and then also the repair videos. We didn't do any of that kind of stuff for the first couple of years. Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. Yeah, so I may have interacted with you on a lot of these chats as Luscious Collectibles too. That's right. There's a lot of you guys that have, well, I got 2 profiles on YouTube as well. I've got mine under my name, and then the Dependable Flame. Of course, Jonathan's got Luscious Collectibles. Scott is the Professor, and he's got certain, depending on the platform. I know some of your stuff has your name as well. Kind of hoping NAFTA would join us. Little curious how things are going in Tulsa. And who knows, maybe Azrael will jump in here and join us too. We haven't heard from Azrael over the last few live streams to let us know how things are going in Indonesia. We haven't heard from Sean in the UK in a long time on a live stream, but I did get a message under a video here in the last week from Sean saying he's here. I can't remember what he said was going on, but he basically letting us know he was still alive. Of course, there's others that join us on a regular basis. One of our oldest, and got his own channel now, Boo Rock Beer. Trying to remember now what the name is. There's a guy named, or it used to be Montas Chabi Bulinas, and he's changed his name now to a different name. So probably that other name was never right either, or not actually his actual name. He's the guy that used to get upset because I didn't light the lighter in every video. I felt like I was leaving him hanging, lacking satisfaction. I like lighting the lighters too, but it's not a natural thing to light a lighter that's not capable of being lit. So that's what that video was about, and that's, or you know, a new lighter. Just by the nature of it, I'm not going to be lighting them all. Yeah, you remember Montas Friedrich? Yeah, there was more than once that he'd leave a comment about that. It really bothered him. Really wanted to make sure that I knew that it was better when I lit it up. But that's, you know, you see a lot of stuff with celebrities and stuff about ignoring the comment section on YouTube or other Facebook or other social media. And I've said it from day one. My experience with this channel and having the comments and interacting with the comments and liking them and responding and all that has been overwhelmingly positive. The most frustrating thing is the number of questions I get about butane lighters, because I don't work on butane lighters. And maybe I confuse that by doing so many videos on them and reviews on them, but I use them. I mean, I use them a lot, but I'm not an expert on them. I can't fix them. I can point you toward my friend Donald Hine. I can point you toward maybe a couple other people. The place in North or South Carolina. Trying to remember the name of it. Is it ARS, Authorized Repair Services, which I think, I don't know this for a fact, but I think that is the same outfit as International Vintage Lighters on eBay. And I know that fella's name, but I won't say it because, like I said, I'm not positive that that's the same individual, but I'm pretty sure it is. For those of you that are familiar with them. I can't remember now what my point is, there are some folks out there that will repair. I guess Dunhill's still in business, so maybe Dunhill repairs butane lighters, you know, their own butane lighters. So maybe there are some options. But, you know, as far as repairing a petrol lighter other than Zippo, which you can always mail your Zippo in and they're going to fix it. Of course, that'd be a little bit different with these butane inserts. They got a little bit more limited warranty on them, 1 to 2 years, I think. But they're petrol lighters, the Zippo petrol lighters, they do great with repair. But what I try to do is kind of fill in the gap there with those companies that don't do that anymore. And there are people. There's a guy on the OTLS Facebook page this week who got on and advertised that he started a website. He's doing repairs. Um, it's never something that's really appealed to me, just to turn around the mail. And, I worked the mail for over 25 years. And so having to mail stuff back and forth, I did it for a little bit. I never charged anybody for it. I only did it as favors. But at one point I was doing quite a bit of it as favors, and it was just too much of a burden. It was a chore. It wasn't fun to me. And I wasn't charging anything. And when I look at what that guy that got on the OTLS page promoting his website and his list of services and the fees, they look very affordable. He's not going to get rich off of that for the prices that he's offering to do it for. So now, I didn't know that fella. I can't remember his name. But anyway, there are all kinds of people out there that will help you repair all kinds of lighters. What I try to do is show you how to do it yourself if you are inclined to do that. And the honest truth is that if you are capable of getting up, brushing your teeth, driving an automobile, or somehow figuring out public transportation to get to work, if you're able to accomplish simple tasks at work, enough that you make a living doing that and can make your way home, you can probably do what needs to be done to get a vintage lighter back up and running. It's just going to be a couple of things. It's going to be a flint that is stuck in the tube, and then maybe a wick and wadding that needs to be replaced. And these are simple things. So anyway, like I said, there are people out there that will do it. There may be people that will do it for you for free like I used to. There are definitely some that will charge you a little bit. There may be some that will charge you a lot. But anyway around it, whether you want to pay somebody or whether you want to watch a video that I or somebody else make for you, there's plenty of opportunities, plenty of options for you to get your vintage Petrol lighter up and running. Butane lighter is a little bit different story. And I certainly can't help you. Let's bring this thing full circle. That's how I started in this little conversation. I don't work on butane lighters. I have never put gasoline in a Zippo, Thomas, but we have talked a lot about that sort of thing here. I would like to do that. It doesn't really lend itself to the setting which I'm currently recording the videos in. But if I could get to a place where I had a little bit more space and could even get outside, maybe, I'd like to try that. I'd like to try to do, say, gasoline, kerosene, Coleman fuel. I'd like to just go, let's get about 5 or 6 different things out here. Will motor oil work? It seems like I have encountered people who have tried to say that motor oil will work. Oh, so you're saying you think the ARS place does repairs even new Dunhill lighters? Isn't Dunhill still making lighters, Friedrich? Or are you just talking about them doing the old stuff there at the ARS place in North Carolina? That's cool, Friedrich. I spent 25 years there, man. And I walked in there with a lot of hope and pride, and very naive. And I met a lot of interesting people. I met some good people. I worked for a few good people, very few. I worked for a lot of bad ones, and paid the bills for a long time. But it was not a very it wasn't a fun place to work. you realize pretty quick that it really wasn't about productivity, or it was, man, it was always a game. Management was always playing a game. Jonathan says, dependable flame videos are both fun and helpful. When I got the Ronson crown, I felt it required the blind method of wicking. Thanks to the dependable flame for the trick. Yeah, man. You know, that blind method was just me basically solving a problem that I couldn't find a video on, or, you know, I would find an old Ronson wick that had an inserter, and it seemed like it was indicating that you should poke that down the chimney. Seemed pretty difficult to do. And I could just never find any hard information on how to get that wick where you needed it to go. So that blind method was basically my imagination solving that problem. And it's I mean, I love it. It's basically the same as the wire lead. It's just giving you a wire. It's just attaching a wire to your otherwise wireless wick. But you know, you can use that with the limp wicks like the Imco or old Ronson type, or David's wicks. You can use that with a more rigid copper woven Zippo type wick. Just realized where I was monitoring that it kind of locked up. Hopefully it was giving me a warning here on the phone that I'm at 20%, just to give you guys a heads up. I'll try not to let it just disappear on us, because last time I did that, it took several days for the archived version to show up on YouTube. Wow, so you're saying, I wonder what, so like jet fuel, are you talking about jet fuel, Friedrich, or some other kind of, so like aviation gas for like a prop plane? Okay, I got you. Yeah, I think you're right. I definitely know that they repair the, do you guys think though, doesn't Dunhill have like an official repair of some form or another right now? At least for the lighters that they sell brand new? Yeah, you're definitely right about that, Friedrich. I mean, I've seen some managers, some supervisors get put in, you know, people that were great to work with, or great in a low management position, suddenly get a little bit of authority and just lose their mind. I mean, it was crazy. I saw some crazy stuff in that 25 years at the post office. I need to make a video. I think about it every time I go down to Scissortail Park, because the old plant that was at 325 Southwest 5th, or maybe it was 320 Southwest 5th, one of those. It's confusing because the new address, I believe, is 320 Northwest 5th. Anyway, but that building set down in there where the lake is at Scissortail Park. So I think of stories, and I think of things that happened down there. And I started work down there. It's not the first place I worked in the post office. I worked at the Annex out at 59th and Portland for a few months before I think I started at the plant around April of 93. And worked there off and on until I was working there when they moved it to the new plant out at trying to remember what that is. That Tulsa and Reno and Tulsa. That'll mean absolutely nothing to most of you unless there's somebody who's familiar with Oklahoma City listening in. Yeah, I've never encountered any of that. You know, Friedrich, for the most part, I'm trying to. Oh, now if you're talking about fusees, you're not talking about fusee lighters, are you? Those are definitely thick. Huh? I haven't encountered that. What lighters are those that need a wick that big, Friedrich? I never encountered a lighter that I couldn't get either an Imco, Ronson, or copper braided Zippo type wick down. Okay, gotcha. Prop planes, helicopter aviation gas. So is that just like really high octane gas or something? I don't have a lot of Imcos, Thomas. Matter of fact, this is the only Imco that I currently have. Not sure what's up with my stream over here. It's buffering. And this doesn't have fuel in it. I might fuel it up though, because I'll take something with me later to I will definitely want to light up when I take a walk, go mail this package. Okay. Yeah, this is the only Imco that I've got that I can think of. And somebody posted a comment underneath one of the videos for this lighter and said that the new upgraded one would have a rubber seal. There's no rubber seal, it's just metal and metal here. Like I said, I will fill that up though. Somebody else got on last week and told me it was fake. Which is always a possibility, but I don't think so. I forget it. This was from the period, the box that it was in said Restoration Hardware. I think that was the name. I don't know how much this will hold. Maybe. Doesn't that look like that'd hold about what a Cygnus would? Of course, fuel economy is a little bit better in this one, I think. And maybe it'll hold a little bit more. It's not dripping out the wick yet. I think that was three droppers. Still not dripping out the wick. So that's definitely more than a Cygnus. I might give you an idea how small the actual tank on the Cygnus is. If it'll only hold 2.5. And I've lost track. That's 5, maybe 6. Still no fuel coming out the wick. It's been a pretty reliable lighter for me. And maybe, well, there we go. That should be enough then if it lights within that much time. If we had left the lid closed for another few seconds. You know, it's not really the fuel that should be lighting. Your wick should not actually be wet. It should be the fumes coming up and out of that wick. I'll try it again here in a minute. If it doesn't light quicker, then we will add a little bit more. I'm going to catch back up on the chat here. Friedrich says Dunhill will only repair the newer stuff as they don't have parts inventory for the older ones. Yeah, that's what I figured. Jonathan says, yeah, I tied a 0.3 millimeter beading wire on one end of the wick as shown on the Dependable Flame vid. Catching and fishing out the beading wire was quite tricky, but felt damn good once you do. Yeah, it definitely, you know, you kind of learn that you need to try at least. See if oh yeah, I've got it. You know, on a pocket lighter like this, it's a little bit easier to try to, you know, form your wire if you've kind of got it braided together, or, you know, if it's the IMCO wire lead, then, you know, more stiff kind of rod, then you kind of try to shape it to where it'll, you know, come out of the wick, come out of the chimney, I should say, and then funnel right down to the hole. But with the beading wire, I've found that a lot of times it's easier with the beading wire because you can, once you've got it in there, if you don't initially find it, you can just kind of spin it up here until you see it. And then once you catch sight of it, then you can, you know, figure out a way to get a pair of pliers or tweezers or something on it, pull it out, and then pull everything down in line as you need it. Like the KW137 or the Tommy lighter. Okay, so the Tommy lighter and the KW. Okay, the big trench type lighter. I didn't realize, I guess, that those were that old. Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about there, Friedrich. What micro lighters are you talking? Or are you talking about IMCO lighters? Hello, Mario Marolo Albazuri. Glad to have you with us. I hope I didn't just butcher the pronunciation of your name, but glad to have you with us. You got the same IMCO 6700 triplex. I think that's probably the most common. And I'm trying to remember. Like I said, somebody was trying to tell me in a comment the other day that this was fake because of how much I'd paid for it. This one is marked IMCO Triplex Super Patent Pending 6700. And then I can't read what it said. Austria. It says Austria there. It doesn't say made in Austria. I have seen ones that were made in China that say, or maybe Hong Kong, that say come of Austria. But I believe that this was when they were still being made in Austria. Could be wrong though. And, you know, for the price that I paid for it, obviously I don't have, but it was just interesting to me that he was trying to tell me it was fake because of how much I'd paid for it, when I just happened to hop on eBay and it was literally listed for, I mean, I just bought it for what it had been listed for. Somebody had, you know, either not really done their homework or didn't really care, and they just thought, well, I mean, I can't remember exactly, but I think that shipping and all, I think it was free shipping, and it was listed for like $4.95 or something like that. Anyway, stuff like that happens. you get bargains sometimes. Not every bargain is a opportunity for fraud, but you know, whatever. It is a pretty good lighter. It seems to me like it lights much more reliably with the windscreen open in the down position. I did just get another warning on my phone, so we might have a few more minutes left here before my battery's going to kick us off and cut us off. Let's see, IMCO, gotcha. A lighter fluid is Ronsonol, Thomas. It's just Ronsonol that I put in a dropper bottle. It's a lot easier. It's easier to count how much. Keep track. Yeah. Well, that's definitely what it was. That's why I thought it was funny, because the video that he was commenting on, Friedrich, I'm pretty sure I had the box in it. Maybe not. But yeah, I really never had any doubt whether or not it was authentic. You know, it wasn't new. It did have the box, but he was claiming that it should have been, you know, at least, and it, you know, it should have cost more than it did, no doubt about it. But I'm not the one that listed it. I'm just the one that bought it. Yeah, I've never tried the Evapo Rust, but I know I'd be careful about putting them in vinegar, because some of the cheaper metal it can definitely eat through. But you know, it's worth a try. Vinegar, I don't think any like alcohol or anything like that. It's not really going to do much for rust. It might help you brush some of it off if you got a wire brush, but it's not just going to eat it. Or the vinegar will eat away at the rust. Yeah, that's exactly right. Sheet metal wears through the plating. Yeah, well, I paid close to that. Like I said, it was $4.99. Maybe that's why maybe that person sold it for that, because they knew what they had paid for it originally. I don't know. All I know is it showed up on eBay for less than $5, and I snatched it. Ah, so you're saying they were on Sportsman's Guide? You're talking about the Sportsman's catalog where you buy the hunting equipment and all that? I bought a lot of stuff on Sportsman's Guide over the years. I didn't realize that's what you were talking about, Friedrich. Yeah, those Ceromi cruise lighters are pretty cool. I've never had one, but I can see the appeal. Yeah, the little boat lighters. Yeah, I'm going to try to get these listed, Marolo. I've got a Hello Coffee Junkie. Glad you joined us today. I'm trying to list, but I'm having a problem with the HDSA organization. Maybe I can tag them in this, and maybe they'll come and see it. I need them to fix their paperwork with eBay so that I can give them a percentage of my proceeds. Yeah, no, that's what Friedrich. You talked when you said Sportsman's Guide. You talking about sportsmansguide.com? And Coffee Junkie, glad to have you with us again. I know you were with us. Was that two couple weeks ago? The Vapor Rust. Can I get a Vapor Rust on Amazon, Friedrich? Huh, I had no idea. That Sportsman's Guide. That was before my time with lighters. Seems like a different lifetime ago now at times, and it kind of was. But I spent a lot of time in the outdoors. $25 years or so ago, yeah. Well, yeah, so that might have even been before I was really heavy into. I did most of my hunting between like the year, well, I guess that was 25 years ago. Between like the years 2000 and 2016, other than when I was a kid. Well, I've been trying to do these vertical live streams about once a week. I might try to do another one this Friday if I'm able, maybe not. We'll see how it strikes me, what I got going on. I got this package I need to go mail here in a little bit. And also, hopefully I can get on weed maps. Find a dispensary around here that I can get an affordable gram of live rosin. Since the apothecary went out of business up here on Auto Alley, I don't have anything identified in walking distance where I can get what I need. So I may try to figure that out today. Well, yeah, I don't ship to Canada. Marcel, I was looking at your name wrong. I think I called you Marolo. I thought that was an O. Marcelo. I thought, yeah, we might need to figure that out. I can ship. I don't really have a problem shipping to Canada. I just, I haven't. I've had some issues in the past with another eBay account with selling some stuff before you were able to track. So maybe I can. If you look and see something you want to buy, get with me and we'll see what we can figure out. Maybe I could change my policy. Maybe I can change that to include Canada. I'm not sure. I've always done it through eBay because I could donate to my charity. The HDSA, Huntington's Disease Society of America charity, has always been so important because it's a disease that killed my father. It's a disease that for years I was convinced I had. So I would really like to be able to continue to support that organization and them helping those that are affected by the disease and also trying to find a cure. But I don't know, I'm kind of losing hope of that at this point. Second time this has happened where so if I can't get the HDSA organization to get their paperwork straight with eBay where I can donate that money through their charity program from each listing, then it wouldn't be so important to me that everything go through eBay. That's really why I do it, is because I want to be able to donate that portion of each sell to the organization, to the charity. Yeah, I wouldn't even think about mailing to the UK, Friedrich, you're right. And Jonathan, you're right about a lot of, especially the squeeze type or any of the riveted type lighters, they are going to be prone to rust. Sheet metal or whatever they're made of, I guess, rather than brass. Yeah, the riveted part definitely does not help. I appreciate all you guys joining me today. I wish I could hang around a little bit longer, but like I said, I would like to end this before my battery kicks us off, because I'm not sure that everything uploads correctly when that happens. But I'm going to run some errands, go mail that package, hopefully make some videos, maybe even get a listing or two up. So keep your eyes on that website, dependableflame.com/current eBay listings. Well, now you're gonna make me hold on a minute. Coffee, are you the one that made the offer on it the other day? Or are you telling me you just now bought it? Or are you saying you found another lighter like that? I was a little confused because I got an offer on that lighter last week. Well, anyway, if that was you that made the offer, feel free to make that offer again. I just, the way that I did that, the reason I countered it was because I wasn't going to be able to ship that day, and I felt like that was unfair to accept it. Interesting. But you must not have purchased it from me. Maybe there were others out there that I was unaware of. I hadn't checked it in a while. Like I said, I know I did a little bit of research when I first got that one before I listed it, but mine appears to still be for sale. So yeah, post a picture of yours over there on the dependableflame.com Facebook group, Coffee Junkie. Yeah, it's still showing I've got an active listing. I don't know, maybe it's got something to do with your payment. Maybe it doesn't notify me until your payment goes through. Anyway, if you have purchased that, I'll be getting that in the mail today too. But I will be taking this IMCO XXX 6700 Super with me to light up my smoke as I take a walk. As I mentioned before, I don't ever condone smoking tobacco, but medical marijuana products are a different story. Until next time, glad to see you all this week.